He raised Max from a puppy, loyal, loving, never aggressive. So when Max suddenly bit his hand one evening, it didn't just hurt, it shattered something. But the real pain came later when he discovered why Max did it. It wasn't rage. It wasn't confusion. It was a message, a warning. And by the time he finally understood, it was too late. Nathan wasn't a dog person until Max entered his life. Max was just a few weeks old, rescued from a shelter, covered in fleas, trembling in the corner of a rusty cage. But when Nathan reached out, Max crawled into his lap and fell asleep. That was it. From that moment on, they were inseparable. Everywhere Nathan went, Max followed. They went hiking together, ate together, slept together. Max was more than a pet, he was family. Even during Nathan's darkest days, like when his father passed away, Max never left his side. He'd curl up beside him, resting his head on Nathan's chest, as if saying, "I'm here. I'm listening." It started with little things. Max would freeze whenever Nathan's new roommate, Dylan, entered the room. His tail tucked, his ears back. A low growl sometimes trembled in his throat, but never loud enough for Dylan to hear. Nathan brushed it off. "He's just adjusting," he'd say. But Max was never like this before. He didn't bark. He didn't bite. He just watched, eyes sharp, focused, always on Dylan. One evening, Nathan was preparing dinner when Dylan walked into the kitchen and casually slapped him on the back with a laugh. It was friendly, but Max leapt up, barking for the first time in weeks. He rushed forward and bit Nathan's hand. Hard. Blood welled up instantly. Nathan gasped, pulling back. "Max! What the hell?" Max didn't growl. He didn't attack again. He just stared at Nathan, wide-eyed, trembling. And then, he walked away and hid under the table. It wasn't like him. Not at all. Nathan bandaged his hand and tried to forget it. Maybe Max was startled. Maybe he was getting old. But deep down something felt off. Max started avoiding Nathan. He wouldn't sleep in his room, wouldn't play, wouldn't eat unless Nathan left the bowl and walked away. The house felt colder, like Max was watching something Nathan couldn't see. One night, Nathan woke to the sound of whimpering. Not barking, just a soft, helpless cry. He followed the sound and found Max lying in front of Dylan's bedroom door, pawing at it slowly. Nathan frowned. "Max, what are you doing?" Max looked up at him, then suddenly growled. That was the second time Max had ever growled at him. Nathan opened Dylan's door. What he saw would never leave his memory. Inside Dylan's room there was movement, but not from Dylan. There was a small girl, no older than 6, tied at the wrists, gagged, her eyes wide with fear. Nathan stood frozen, his mind unable to make sense of what he was seeing. Max growled again, low, protective, stepping in front of Nathan. Just then, Dylan burst into the room, shirtless, frantic, holding something in his hand. Nathan didn't think. He threw himself forward, grabbing the girl and pulling her toward the hallway. Max lunged, barking like never before, placing himself between Dylan and Nathan. It all happened so fast. The police came. The girl was rescued. Dylan was arrested. And Max had saved a life. Later, in the hospital, after getting his hand stitched, Nathan sat beside Max. He looked into those eyes, filled with guilt and pain. "I'm sorry I didn't listen," Nathan whispered. "You were trying to tell me." That bite? It wasn't anger. It was a desperate cry. A warning, "You're in danger." Dogs can sense what we can't. Smells, fear, intent, energy. Max knew. And biting Nathan wasn't meant to harm. It was meant to make him stop, see, Sometimes when a dog bites, it's not about aggression. It's about protection. The girl was a neighbor's daughter, missing for 3 days. The entire town had been searching. Max had sensed it. He knew where she was. But Nathan, blind with trust, never imagined someone like Dylan could be a monster. They moved out. Nathan quit his job, started volunteering at shelters. And Max became a local hero. He still didn't bark much, but he didn't need to. Everyone listen now. Image prompt. A peaceful park scene where people gather around a proud dog wearing a small medal. Children pet him, the owner watches with love. Healing energy all around. A week later, a local news station interviewed Nathan and Max. The host smiled into the camera. You said Max had never bitten anyone before. What made you trust him, even after he bit you? Nathan looked into Max's eyes and said quietly, because sometimes pain isn't punishment, it's a message. Max risked everything to protect someone else. That's not violence. That's love. Max sat beside him, calm and alert, like he knew the world finally understood him. One night, Nathan received a letter. It was from the little girl's mother. It read, Dear Nathan and Max, I don't know if you believe in angels, but we do. Max is ours. Nathan read it 3 times. Then he broke down and cried, for the fear he didn't feel in time, and for the miracle that saved her anyway. Looking back, there were signs. Max avoided Dylan's touch, refused food if Dylan handled it, pinned his ears back when Dylan spoke. Nathan didn't understand then, but Max knew. It wasn't just scent. It was instinct. Dogs don't explain. They act, and they pray you listen. 6 months later, Nathan was invited to speak at a national pet safety seminar. He stood on stage with Max beside him. The room was filled with vets, dog trainers, and hundreds of pet owners. He held up his scarred hand and said, This scar saved a child's life, because my dog chose to hurt me, to protect someone who couldn't protect herself. A long pause. So next time your dog does something strange, stares at someone too long, growls at a touch, or even bites, don't ask, why did he do that? Ask, what is he trying to protect me from? Nathan became an advocate for dog behavior awareness. He started a website, barkmeansbelieve.com, to share stories like Max's. People wrote in from all over the world. My dog growled at my boyfriend. I found out he was cheating. My dog wouldn't let my daughter near the babysitter. She was abusive. I used to think my dog was broken. Now I know she was warning me. Max had become more than a pet. He had become a movement. Years passed. Max got older. His muzzle turned gray. His steps slowed. But his eyes never changed. Still watchful. Still loyal. Still waiting for the next person who might need saving. The scar on Nathan's hand faded, but he never covered it. He called it Max's signature. When Max passed, people from all over the country sent letters, flowers, and paintings. They didn't just lose a dog. They lost a hero. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear fur. Some speak with silence. And sometimes, the one who bites your hand is the only one trying to save it. Fade to black. In memory of Max, and every animal that tried to speak before we learned how to listen. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video.